Hi, hello, welcome. And today this is a Just Code section, and what I'm going to do is try to finish the resolve import package, and that is something that I just worked on yesterday. And the reason I work on it is actually pretty interesting, as I'm working on the repo buddy for Jest, and then one of the problem that Jest has is handling the ESM packages. And I was able to use this to get that thing working. So I'm really excited about it. But before I talk about that, I want to make sure that the code over here actually works fine. So what that means is, let me get ready and open a file, and I will show that to you. And the bottom line is what I'm going to do is finishing this up, and well, without further ado, let's get started. So let me see how should I describe it. In the package JSON, right? As you may know, in the ESM support, it has this export, and then it also has a import, right? It also have this. It's actually not even auto completed, but it have this syntax. Right, this fields, and what it can do is do some mapping and map some identifier that you specified to some local paths, right? And this most well known is used by Chalk. So say, let me see if I have it over here. When I'm testing it, I might have it. No, I don't. So let me just get it in. What the hell? Okay. The npm imports add. Okay, so let me just get that code in here. So now we can take a look at its package JSON. So over here, you can see that it's using the imports, and then what it does is it get these identifier and map it to certain files. So in its source code, it have this vendor, and the ANSI style and the support color is over here. The reason it is doing this is so that the Chalk do not rely on those two dependencies. Right, so instead of adding them as a reference in the dependencies, it actually embedded it in over here, because the file is not that big, and maybe having no dependency is beneficial. But anyway, that's how it's being used, and this is one of the problems that just have difficulties in handling the ESM packages. So what this package that I wrote, or resolve imports, is try to handle that. And I kind of borrowed the same name from another very popular package, resolve export, which try to resolve the export fields right over here. And so I just create a package with a similar name for the import fields, and it is already working. So over here, this logic that you see is already handling the case that this syntax does. However, there is also another syntax that that this supports. So let me actually go there. The readme over here. Oh, let's see. No. Yeah. That's not the one that I try to show, but that's fine, right? Let me see, make sure that you can still see the package. Okay, there you go. So here's the import, right? And then up here is the export, right? So over here, well, actually not this guy. This guy. Yep, over here. So so the subpart import, it allows you to do this, right? And this I already have it handled. And then the second part is this subpart pattern, which allows you to do something like this, right? So although I personally haven't encountered a package that utilizes this yet, but that is in the specification. So I'm going to handle that in the package, make sure that, you know, if someone else decide to use the package, it will work for them. So that's what we are going to do. And the way we're doing it is going to do it PDT style. Over here. Okay. All right. What's going on? What is going on? What is going on? Yeah, I can't even find. Are they? Okay. The system scanning a bit crazy. So that's what we're going to do. So the first things is to handle that and add a test for it. Right, so on that, since there is a name for it, so I'm going to name it subpath patterns. And so let's see. The first case is well, actually, let's see if the case over there it will work. Okay, just use that. Let's see. No, this is the external. So I'm copying the same code from the examples from Node.js. Right, like this. If that is that, well, the options is optional over here. Oh, no, that's right. I expect it to be this. So the test will fail, so that's fine. Well, I like to visualize it. Like that. Right, so can do reduce. Yeah, and let's not do reduce. So why it is okay? Yeah, it does. Okay, so should I do it like this? Yeah, that's fine. Let's handle the case that it is equals to 2 first. If the parts.length length is not equal to 2, continue. I'm not going to handle those cases yet. Okay, so Okay, yeah, get the names a little bit better. I don't need that. And end with, should I say the end with? Yeah, I can. So what do you get? So match package import key. No, this is not right. Yeah. This doesn't look. No. Come on. If that's the case, let's assume that is the case. Let's assume that the case that it will have both, right? Because that is the example that we got. And the thing, well, we will read through the description once again later on. For now, let's do this. So get the values would be import.key, right? So that's fine. And then let's just hack around it and say value prefix and value suffix, and then value split. So that's fine. And so then we can really just return that. That looks good. So let's see, what do we get? Yep, it passed. Right, although it's not really that clean or anything. Well, it looks right. So let's make sure that we are in a good shape. Right. Oh, where is it? Where did it go? Path import. Okay, so in addition to the export field, there's import field, and the import field can do this. The value can also be like this. I'm pretty sure that that would be the case. Entry in import field must always start with pound to ensure they are disambiguous. So it will always be pound. So meaning I actually can do some shortcuts. So what that really means is over here, I did a shortcut over here to just return that. And then let me go here, and there's no import field, so that's fine. It returns undefined when entry, all right, does not start with pound. All right, so although it's just a little bit of things, but since we have to go through all those logic, I want to make sure that we won't call those, we don't execute those when it's not needed. right? So sometimes this is troublesome. So let's do it like this. So we have this guy, but something else. Right, it doesn't even need to be a relative path or whatnot, right? It's just something else. Then this should be to be undefined. Close. Okay, so that's that. Although this is still true, but I want it to do this, to just shortcut it. Okay. So, for example, input field can be used to gain the benefit of conditional export for internal module, right? Doing this that we support already. Where does not get the resolution of depth node native, and then instead of getting the polyfill, right? So if it is node, if not, it will get the default. Unlike the export field, the import field permits mapping to external package, and that is fine. That's what this means, and to us it doesn't really matter. We just resolve that name back, right? Doesn't matter if what this is a package name or is a relative path. We just return it, so that's fine. Right. So now for packages, let's see. Okay. Seems like the camera is again mess up a little bit. Give me a second. Oh, I'm back. The camera still have problem. So anyway, for small package with small number of export and import, recommend explicitly listing each export subpath entry. But for package have large, we might cause it to broad and can use the pattern, right? Support pattern, subpath export pattern can be used instead. Right, this expose nested subpath as a string replacement syntax only, right? It's not a group or anything like that, right? The all instance of star on the right hand side will then, the question is say all instances, right? Replace with this value, including if it contains any slash operator, right? It's just a straight replace. My concern is it is plural over here, but at the same time, it doesn't make sense to have multiple star and then get it to replace all of them. So let's continue reading, right? We handle this case. This is a direct static matching and replacement without any special handling for file extension. Right, so the .js on both sides of the method restrict the exposure package exports to only JS file. The property of exports being statically enumerable is maintained with export patterns, since the individual export for a package can be determined by treating the right-hand side target pattern as a star group against the list of files within the package. Paths are forbidden in export targets. This expansion is dependent on only the files of the package itself. What does this mean? So this is also this is export, right? Import, I don't think this matters. The question I have is this. Let's read through this one more time. The property of export is treating the right-hand side pattern as a starter group. Okay. My gut feeling is it doesn't matter. This is just talking about export, not talking about import. That's a condition. This is fine, but this is also just talking about export. What does it mean if it is import? First of all, it has to have the pound sign. Let's scroll down a little bit more, see if there's anything else. It seems like that is okay. Yep, that's it. I feel like we are almost done already. The only case is this. I want to make sure that it kind of makes sense. We first need to make sure that it makes sense. So resolve, and then put this in there. And if it is imports, right? Imports, what does that mean? All right, so that is one of the cases that we want to take a look. The other one is, well, let's first describe this, is that the, yeah. What I would say is it maps to string pattern. Probably need to find a better name for it. Right, import map based on condition, right? That sounds okay. So the other case that we need to handle, let me just copy this, right, is this case. So kind of like this. And we are going to do the same thing over here. And why it say it is an error? I think I have a missing one. Yep. So say no star, browser star, like that. Right, so with that, this and the condition, right, so the condition, I want to get the node 1, then this should return node/foo.js. It should be like that. Okay, so on that, it is the same logic as this guy. Right, the problem is if type of value is string, right, then it does this. Right, and then it will do this. Right, for each of the option condition, and then that's not match in this case. So the value, actually that is the value. Right, condition, if that is the case, then it will do this. Right, there you go. It works. So that should be good. Of course, this is horrible. This is horrible code. Well, I'm interested in this guy. So let's take a look at this first. So what does that mean if I have this? Right, if I have this node here, and then with that case, import say node.star.mjs, and then require will be node star.cjs. Say this is node. If not, it will be browser star.mjs or cjs, doesn't really matter. The problem is that where are we going to place this? Where are we going to place this? This, by the design of it, it sounds like the suggestion, what it suggests is this, like that. Internal foo, and then condition node, let's say node import. And if that is the case, actually, if that's the case, maybe there's something missing over here too. It maps with nested conditions. And in this case, it will expect it to be equals to MJS. The problem is, should it be? Right, because over here, when with the star, this in this logic, we are checking the start with and the end with, right? In order for this to work, then we have to loosen this and not checking the end with. So let's, I was, as usual, forgot about the stream. So where am I? So I have shown this, right? So have updated the code. The code right now looks horrible over here. And then we are looking at the second case, right? The case that I'm interested in, and try to come up with a syntax that kind of makes sense. The problem with this is that in the documentation, it does not have an example of this. So I don't know what actually what should it actually looks like. Right, it could be this might work, but then that means when I'm doing the comparison, I cannot compare with the end with, right? Because what happened over here is it maps the end with the .js to .mjs or CJS, right? And which is fine, I guess. So let's take a look at this over here, right? So this guy nested condition is for the example is for export to begin with. However, this guy doesn't describe the star example either. So let's scroll up a little bit, right? So this, I have this defined, right? So these also supported, and with that, I actually let me show you something. So here is the resolve export code. The resolve export code, it was doing it like this. It get the copy and get the loop, and then I don't know. Yeah, do the loop and do all that. I don't know if it works. This looks fine. Is here, right? That's where it replace the star with the substring and then build the remaining, I guess. No, actually not, because these. Yeah, it really feels like that doesn't work. Of course, what do I know, right? It is very well tested or used it. So let's see. Let's take a look. What kind of test it has? This self, that's fine. With this, that's fine. The star, I want to look at the star one, right? So that get mapped to that's okay. Then this is okay, that is okay. That's it. Okay, so I feel like that there is a bug over here. I could help contribute to this, right? That would be a great thing to do. Right, but it does not seem to cover this case. It doesn't seem to cover this case, and yeah, I could help in and take a look at that to make sure that that is the case. So the question then back to here, right? For the import, it support this, and because my reasoning is that because the MJS and CJS extension is something that people wanted to have. So even though the example doesn't have it, I feel like this is a proper requirement, right? So I'm going to implement it. And so with that, then that means I have to take this away. Right, and then mark this as the file, and then do a split. It's not a function, not iteratable. So this need to be a nested mechanism. So it will be a little bit more complex. And with that, let me first do some refactoring, right? Because all this code is the same code. So what do we want to do over here? Right. And then also this guy is also probably have the same problem. So what we really want is that we want to find the value, the replacer value. Right. So let's get the import. Let me take a look. So first, this get the key part with that is start with, right? So that's when, only when we get in here, that's when we say, okay, this part, right? We have found a part that match the entry, right? So that's what we're going to look into. And then, so over here, what we really want, I'm going to write a little bit of pseudocode over here, is that we want to find the replacer, right? Look up replacer, right? And then what we want to pass in is the package inputs. I don't know how to type key, right? So with that, then we get this object, and then we also want to pass in the conditions, or maybe, yeah, I want to pass in the conditions because I want to pass in the array so that when we reach one, we can recurse and get the next one. So from here, since we are in here, at the end, the worst case, there should be a default, but it's not necessary, so it could be null, right? So meaning if the replacer is null, right, what will happen? And since this is an import, the null would not make sense, right? It would not make sense because then the file, the input path points to nothing, and the evaluation got stuck. Right? So if it is null, then we want to continue. Right, we want to continue to this loop to go to the next one. So there is a case, right? So it goes to the next map if first match return failed condition checks. Right, so add a to do over here. Right, so we get this. So and then this is a string. We know that it is a string. And if it is a string, then we in this case, since we are talking about this mapper over here, then we do want to assume that this replacer will have a star, so that we can split it, and then we use that to construct the actual value. So there's a prefix suffix already. Okay, although it's a little bit verbose. No, let's say just RP and RS. Right, RP and RS, and then the slice, and this got the prefix length and the suffix length cut it off, and so that looks good. Right, so then now the question is about implementing this lookup replacer. So this is a map. Right, the map can be a string. Right, and this guy right now, this is any because it's input from the package.json. But we can down here we can say let's do that. Right, and it is a recursive case. Right, so let's define a type. Import map equals to a record of, what is this? No, that's not what I want. Is a string, and then inside is either a string or a import map, like that. Does it look right? Like that. Right, it is either a string or it is a string of string, or it is, well, okay, so in that case I don't need that. Right, it's either a string, which import map itself is, or is go further down is another map and keep on going. Right, so that makes sense. And then these conditions would be a string array. It can be null, it can be undefined, so that's good. And this will circularly reference itself. Yes, it is. I thought the newer TypeScript allows me to do that already. This is in 484. Of course, it should. If not, I have to. Okay. Should. How do I do it? How do I do it? Which it is recursive at the very end. Let's define the tail condition, which is a string, record of a string, or it is a string, right? And then so then this is import record map. Well, it's really not a record map. Or like that. It is a string of that. Meaning it is string or record string of string or record string of IM, but that will get into infinite loop. So I have to do it like this. And And this is not a record map. I really don't like the name because this is a string, right? Like that. So which is also not right because it is recursive in nature, right? Because this guy, if people want, it indeed can make it something like this, right? Like that, and then continue and keep going. And it's just that at the very end, it will be a string. In practice, that won't be the case. In practice, that won't be the case. But screw it. It's okay. String or record string any. But that's when you would say, you know, forget about it. Because the thing is, the type is not used outside anyway, because this is the content of the package.json, and so it is a user input. There's no way for you to control what it is. So since this is any or unknown, I don't want to change it to unknown, because when it's unknown, I have to do all this check. So because it's user input, I'll just say, okay, just keep it as any. And if since that is the case, this is really just for helping development. And you can see that just to make that work is a recursive data type, and you can't really describe it. Well, there is a way to describe it, say for example JSON, right? In the JSON type, we can recursively define that. That's okay. Oh yeah, that's how it should work, right? So yeah. So record, and then this is import map, and then this is it could be a string or a why it doesn't work? What the hell? It should work. The array. Hold on a second. You're kidding me. Right, that's how you define a JSON type. So I have the primitive type, have the JSON object, like this. Map the type. Is it because I can't use the record? E in string. Yeah, that's why. That's why. Right, and since I'm not expecting it to be undefined for import map, so there is no, it's not optional, right? Or basically, this is not really optional. This is just really a shortcut of having the undefined. So this works, right? This goes in, and that's why it is not a recursive. Damn. So, well, now you know. Okay. So now the thing is, if this is a string, right? If type of f is a string, if there is a condition map return, if map condition condition map condition, yes, this return lookup replace map, no, if condition condition equals to condition dot shift, right? I want to make sure that it get the first element out, right? And if that's that, right? If condition and that, I return and conditions. Okay, so and then if not, it do that, right? So at the end, it should either return string or undefined, right? And then the map map dot default yeah, default will always be a string. I haven't do this for a long time. I don't think I can do it like that. And then default is a string. Right, and but this will get messed up, and that doesn't make too much sense. So I am going to say as any. It's, yeah, it is what it is. So with that, let's comment this out. Right, so all those other case works. And the question is this here, there is a split. Value.split? What are you talking about? I don't have value.split anymore. Value condition? No. Over here. Okay. It fell on this. All right. So it failed the check. It failed the check. Take a look. It look up the replacer map. If it is a string, if there's condition, then it pick out the condition. No test fine. It get what does it get undefined over here? So get this get node. and then map though, so it get this, it should call this and return. What the hell? What? Right, it got this. I am confused. Yeah. So it has condition. There you go. So yeah, AI can replace human brain yet, not yet. Okay, so that's that. So now we can get rid of this, and then it goes back over here. Do we have that case? Do I have the case that or the nested one? Yes. What need find, you know, subpath import. What should we call it? Right, so this is a subpath pattern, subpath import. But this section is really talk about both export and import. Right, this is straightly talk about no pattern. Okay, so let's just call it no star pattern. Like that. Let's use the most boring description. Works with nested conditions. Right, so wow. Okay. No import, MJS, CJS. Yeah, that is exactly what I want. Excellent. So here, then what we want is really the same thing. Like that. And then we will just return, well, basically just return this. There you go. What's all this thing? Space. Okay. All right. So now those are all passed. Go to the next map. If first match failed the condition check, so that would be an interesting test. So let's copy that over here, and then say let's say import. And so it got in here and got nothing. So what's next? Right. Then let's say actually full dot bar. Okay, like that. And then here will be internal slash full slash star.js. And in here, we can find it. Oh, come on. Right, so here we have the input. And so this will say full node, and then full node just to make it different. So with that, this will get full node, and then replace it with bar.mjs. Right, let's make this make sense to get mjs like that, and that will fail. And the reason it fell is because of this guy. Or I really should say is changing this is return that, and this will return undefined, so that it can go to the next one. And if this is not this guy, it continues. This lookup replacer continue, and it should continue and go to the next one. And to start with, and then look it up, and then this time it should able to find it. That's interesting. ng starts with prefix. Need the suffix. Right there, it found that. It found the first one. Hey, hold on. Why it call? Why does it get called multiple times? What the hell? At the end, it does go over here, but I wonder why. Why did this get call over here multiple times? What's going on? I'm not trying to recursory. Oh, because I was running all of them. Yeah, it just changed the behavior. That's what I want to see. Right, it start with that. No. Yeah, this string, yes, this string will first match that. Yes, it go to undefined, so it looks at the second one, and so it look at the second one, what I feel like is this shift. And I know the solution is pretty simple. But just want to feel the pain and see the error. Right, so over here, we do see this is the map and this is the condition. And then it get to the next one, recursive, and then the end, that's why you get empty over here, because of the shift is taking out the value in place, which is what we want over here, but not over here. Right, so what we want to do is on it. Simple return an iterator. There you go. So shouldn't have this dot, right? Just replacing like that. All right, that's it. Is there anything we want to change? I feel like this is clean enough. This looks good. This replacing looks good. Get rid of the console log. So we use the prefix and the suffix. Do the calculation here. If we only do it once, it doesn't really matter, right? If it is match, then that we cut off early. That's all looks fine. And then the nesting over here already works. In the case over here, because it is a record, right? It is a object. There won't be a case in over here that there will be two matches like that at this, because here we are doing a straight match. So we don't have to do something similar over here, like the one that we see over here. So I think we are good. That's it. At the end, fixing the test. Get rid of it. We're done. All right. Wow, that's also taken an hour, more than I expected. But you know, that's programming. So that's it, and I think we can release it. And so that's what and how to resolve the input field. And once I have this published, the next step is clean up the repo body, and then I can start talk about it. There's a lot more things to talk about down the road. For example, the Moctometer, the Just Web, and also all of the packages that I have made in the past. Including, like, say, the Satisfier, Type Plus, and Assertron, and so on. So I'll be doing either some streaming or making some videos for them, so that you can understand what they are and what's the what kind of lesson you can learn from it. And there will be also some videos that talk about solid principles. Because I saw, there are some videos in YouTube talk about solid principles and, like, say, how to apply solid principles in React, and there are some improvement can be made on those topics, and so I'm going to talk about those soon. and then yeah, there's also something about state management, and that is also something would be pretty interesting. And yeah, so there's a lot that I want to do, but so little time. And with that, let's stop these videos, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. And if you have any suggestion in the comments, feel free to leave a comment. And if you like the videos, give it a like. And I'm also on Twitter, and so if you have any questions, feel free to ping me over there too. And with that, let's see you next time. Bye bye.